Well, Mike, thank you so much for jumping on here and spending some time. Listen, it's I think you've summed up, I think, the best phrase. I've been trying to say this for a long time. I've told Eddie years ago that I'm struggling with rental properties. I just don't have the skill set. But really what I think it is it's an allergy. I start scratching and losing money. And so I think that's a better way to describe it.
Yeah, I've been allergic to them for years. I can't get near them.
Yeah, I'm just glad it's not me. It's not just me anyway. Well, we had a lot of things. Eddie, did you want to jump in and say something specific before I start addressing some of these things?
No, I knew that we'd have some people with some questions and stuff. And Mike, I think you did a great job of really kind of summarizing the movement in the business. Mike and I are involved in sort of a special little group that we all do land together. We have a lot of common friends and relationships that we do in that regard. And so we're very helpful. Mike is just a jam up smart operator. He's probably the best on Facebook selling property of anybody I've ever heard of. He's just got it figured out and does a great job. But so a couple of things I know, Mike, people are asking about how to get a hold of you guys, Mitch's book and stuff. And so if we can do that and put it in the show notes, it would be awesome. And just because I want to make sure that if anybody, wants to hear from you guys, that they know how to do that.
Absolutely. His book's on Amazon, My Life in 1,000 Houses. That's his first one. And then he's got two others, The Art of Owner Financing and I can't remember the other one. That guy's so creative. He's always writing. So, but the My Life in 1,000 Houses is an unbelievable book for anybody that hasn't read it, but it's on Amazon.
Yeah. It is great. In fact, there's a note buyer in that book, by the way.
There is.
That's from a long time ago. All right.
I love it. Yeah. We'll put a link down to your Facebook page and stuff as well, so people can be checking that out. We'll get that from you as we move forward. What's cool, Mike, is even though you're in San Antonio, the beautiful part about seller financing, creative financing, the note business is it can be very market agnostic, right? This isn't just a San Antonio strategy.
That's
and
right.
What's great is we've got people from Colorado and Florida, Arizona, Iowa. I saw Brooklyn is here. And then we've got Edwin out in Odessa. Edwin's always on, and always on time, it seems like. And so we've got some West Texas boys on here as well. So it's always nice to be able to hear content as an investor that's like, oh my gosh, this works for me, right? And so it's very powerful to be able to talk about one specific concept that's very relatable.
And Brian and guys, it's a lot of people think about this as, I got to live in a small town to do this. Mike, you live in San Antonio, like you said, one of the top 10 largest cities in the United States, and you've carved that niche out. And the thing that I love about it is you have the ability, or you guys have taken that and you kind of help folks one house at a time, right? I mean, you put them out there and you put them in a house and it changes people's lives. And I love that. I love that. That's
unbelievable what it does for people's lives. It's, I've had hundreds of people crying on our desk as they're closing, but we didn't touch on this on there, but I haven't seen seller financing not work anywhere. It just depends on how creative you're going to get with it. Sometimes it's true owner financing. Sometimes it's deed, contract for deed, whatever. But financing will work anywhere. I haven't had it anywhere that it hasn't worked, as long as you can get creative.
Yeah, that's the key to it. You're going to have to do it different ways, but you can do it a lot of different ways. So different markets will dictate that. Mike, here's what I want you to leave us with, and because I don't get people of your experience level as a guest on the show every week, right? Because they just don't exist, and I want you to pour some wisdom into our audience of what you've noticed, like people that you've seen that have not done a great job at seller financing and people that have done a great job at seller financing. What disciplines do we need to leave here and know that we must possess?
The biggest difference I see in in guys who have portfolios and guys who have a job is the guys who have portfolio invest back into their business. They don't live out of their business. It's I'm sure it's like that for a lot of businesses out there, but I see a lot of guys who get 3, 4, 5 notes. They get a little bit of cash flow. They've got the brand new car already. Mitch and I didn't take a true paycheck from the company for the first 7 years. We built the business for 7 years. We got paychecks as down payments came in, but it kept us hungry, that kind of thing. But we weren't on a true salary, anything like that for a long, long time. We reinvested into the business to build our moat, build a brand that could sustain going through hard times. Like through COVID, it's shut down for 3 months. We didn't hurt us at all. Tons of people called me up panicking. How are you going to pay your lenders? I said, well, we got 2 years in reserves. And they're like, oh my gosh, I've already called my lenders and told them they might not get paid. And, I got a ton of that stuff right off the bat on COVID, and not having that was kind of proof to us that we built the business correctly. And that's how we did it. We reinvested in the business and we built a very solid portfolio. The other thing I did is I could care less about creating 1,000 notes a year or 10 notes a year. I want good margins. I don't want, the banks can have the low margins. I want big margins. Mitch and I have been very, very strict on our numbers for years. We're still very, very strict. If it doesn't fit in our model, we just don't do it. And that's been a big part of building a very good, solid portfolio for us.
Man, that is some pearls of wisdom. So let me say this, audience. Financial modeling is what allowed Mitch and Mike to do that. Like, if you're thinking I'm just going to run a business for 7 years and never cash a check and never make any income, we fully understand you can't do that. But it's financial modeling, and it's some of the smart things that they did in their disciplines, that they just weren't sucking all the money out of the company, but yet you could do things to live to fight another day. And the other thing is, Brian, Mike started out having to buy a used Ferrari.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
He's talking about the Hot Wheels.
Oh,
It was a used Hot Wheels. That's how broke I was.
big used Hot Wheel market, huh? I didn't realize it was out there. That is fantastic. Well, Mike, I really appreciate you coming on, man. A lot of wisdom, and it really does mean a lot. Really to all of us, just to hear kind of the life cycle, right? The whole story, not just the talking head who's like, yeah, I'm doing all these things, or I've done all these things. It's being able to take somebody through the process of, we started with one house at a time, one borrower at a time. We had to go out and help one person, achieve homeownership, one person at a time. And that became scalable. And it became scalable because you're not always throwing all your money back into fixing the roof, fixing the air conditioning, turning over the property, right? It allowed you to preserve a lot of that capital. And as you just said, reinvest that. And that's a scalable model, right? And that's ultimately what everyone watching this is what we're looking for. We're looking for something that, yes, makes me money, whether it's money now or money later, but also is something that's sustainable and scalable, so that you could be the person on NoteSchool TV talking about, or like Mitch says, my life in 1,000 houses. Obviously, he's bought a lot more than 1,000 houses now, but it always starts with one house at a time. So it's not just a message of wisdom and knowledge, but man, of encouragement to know that like this is very doable, and this isn't a pie in the sky. 40 years from now, I might get there.